You know, when your energy just feels off, like you're dragging yourself through the day, scrolling, we all do, overthinking and calling it rest. Yeah, that's low frequency. Let me show you some easy steps that will instantly raise your frequency and give you amazing energy to really live your best life. And what we're going to cover in this video is what frequency really means and how it shapes your emotions, your thoughts, your body, and your spirit. Now, and we're also going to talk about some simple daily practices to lift your energy, which will be through breath, movement, journaling, and your environment. And how to use 4 hologram bodies to sustain high frequency and long-term growth. So for me, frequency is self-development. It isn't some fluffy buzzword. Like just today, I was procrastinating for coming onto this video. My nervous system didn't feel safe doing that. Yeah. So I used some of these techniques I'm going to show you. Now, it's the feeling of your energy being alive, focused, and clear. You can actually sense when you're operating at a higher frequency. You're switched on, ideas flow, you're creative, and things, they just move really easily. But when you're in a low frequency space, procrastination, sluggishness, can't be arsed doing the simplest things. Everything feels heavy right now. And even all I know, I was doing this myself. Yeah, just before I came on here. And I had to use these techniques to allow my nervous system to get up to that higher frequency and to allow it to feel safe. But here's what I've noticed over the years. Frequency is deeply tied to the nervous system, identity, and energetics. If someone's struggling in business or in life, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's usually not about strategy. It's the emotional and the psychological bodies that are out of sync. Identities come in here as well. The thought patterns lower their frequency. Their emotions get stuck and the whole system jams up. But when we start to raise frequency, it's almost always the emotional and psychological. There is other factors, but it's usually these bodies that respond first. That's where most of the noise sits, the old emotion, the mental clutter, the habits that really keep us small. So when I'm guiding someone through a shift, we start there, yeah? Because if you don't change how you feel, how you think, your frequency, it just starts back to the old setting. So how do we actually raise it? Let's get practical here. Yeah, these are just some simple steps. And I just did it myself. And I'm just being shown how they were showing me that before I did the video. Thank you. Yeah, I just love how we work as humans. I really do. So first, breathe. Just breathe. And just breathing to count 4. And the best time to actually do this is when you are procrastinating, when those low frequency things are coming on. But just in the moment, just breathe. And just exhale to the count of 8. And what to do is just scan the energy around the body, the emotions, and just breathe out with those at the count of 8. It's very simple, but it's the simple things that work. But it's very powerful. And just do that for 4 or 5 times. Sometimes you need to be longer. Sometimes you need to do it for 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes just a few minutes to reset. Because what you're doing here is you're bringing yourself straight back into presence, straight into your body. Yeah? So if you need to do that just now, stop the video, breathe. If you're procrastinating at this moment in time and not doing the things that you know you should be doing, just stop the video and give yourself that 10, however long it takes. Sometimes it could be longer. Just give yourself that time and just breathe in 4 and out 8. And when you're breathing out 8, you're just scanning the body to see where the stuck energy is, and you're just breathing it out. When you come back to the video, surround yourself, with people who lift your vibration. You know who drains you. Think about it just now. Who drains you? And a person will come right into your head. And you also know who expands your energy, who lights you up, who makes you feel so much better about yourself. Because they'll come into your head right away also. Get outside, nature by the sea, or even in a forest, instantly recalibrates the emotional and the energetic fields. The negative neons around the sea, they're brilliant for raising the vibration or energy. Even going in the sea is even better, but you just need to believe it, yeah? Because nature does recalibrate our system. This is why in my daily practice, I make sure, even when I can't be bothered, I make sure I go out for a walk every day. And with me traveling as a digital nomad, currently in Italy, I just love going around places I've never been to before. It just lights my soul up, yeah? I always just try and find the greenery, the nature, because it really will. And I know a lot of people are not in Italy, they're in their homes and what have you, but just find that park, that sea, whatever it is, even just a tree, sitting with a tree will help you raise that energy. Another important factor that I find really helps is journal. Journal your truth. Don't have any expectations or attachments. You just put pen to paper and you just write. Not the spiritual fluff. Write what's really going on. Where are you lying to yourself? What part of you scared? What part of you is the fear coming up that is allowing that procrastination to take a hold? Yeah. Also, as well, I find is really good is moving the body. Dancing is a very good. Yoga, because energy needs to move to stay high. And what a lot of people do is they don't embody. And what I mean by that is because it used to be myself, I used to do this myself, is the energy that actually becomes stuck, stagnant. So when you move the body, laughter as well was a very good way of bringing that energy out. Laughter is probably the top of anything to raise that frequency. It really is. And my favorite one is take full responsibility. Because if you're in victim mode and you're blaming other people, what you're doing is you're basically handing your power to someone else. And we all do it. I've done it myself. I catch myself quicker now. But responsibility is a real portal to help you transform that procrastination. Now, I always have meditation as my anchor. It's not optional for me anymore. I close my eyes and I visualize my 4 hologram bodies in a circle and I just hang out with them. My physical, my emotional, my psychological, my spiritual, because if you don't get, and even my energetic comes in, because if you don't get what is going on with those each hologram bodies, because this is what makes us multifaceted. I ask myself, which of you need attention today? Sometimes the physical just wants rest. Sometimes that procrastination is for you to have that rest, because procrastination is not always a bad thing, yeah, as we look at. But maybe the physical just wants rest, listen. Or sometimes the emotional screaming for release. So just listen, adjust, breathe them into alignment. And honestly, this isn't, you can't course your way to growth. It's a daily practice that really just changes everything, because every time I skip it, I feel my frequency dip. And it's the quickest reminder to come back home to myself. Now, here's where it gets really juicy. The Oracle Code, we take this way beyond mindset. We use quantum jumping. We consciously shift in frequencies to meet the higher versions of ourselves. And we check in to the 4 hologram bodies every single day, not just for me, but for the clients, for family, for friends, even their pets. Because when your frequency rises, it really ripples out everywhere. Your 3D world will show you, yeah? And that's what the whole path is about. Remembering who you are, embodying it, frequency first. And if you want to know more about the Oracle Code, you can get the link below. And if you really want a deeper connection with your spirit team, check out this video here without losing the plot. Yeah? Speak to you later. Bye-bye.